Hello, this is a video to show the Hanso Pergola. I'm making this informational video for anyone out there considering this pergola. This model is the 13 by 19 with manual louver operation. I'm not a builder, I'm just your average homeowner who ordered this pergola online and had it delivered by truck. You will see photos start to finish of the building process, and I want to show the final product after installation and then show some pictures of the building process. At the end of the video, I will show you my own list of pros and cons on this pergola. Now let's take a look at some construction photos. The pergola arrived by a 40-foot freight truck that was carrying an off-road forklift attached to the back. The driver used the off-road forklift and unloaded the single pallet you see here and delivered it right to my patio. The pergola was very well packaged and each of the 6 boxes were in perfect shape. The next step was to open each box and lay out all of the items. Each item is very well labeled with an item number that is referred to in the manual. The manual is 19 pages long with a total of 12 steps. Each step clearly defined with pictures to help guide you. The manual starts like most with giving you a list of all the hardware that should be included in the setup. Step 1 may be the easiest step, simply adding the foot plate to each post. Step 2 shows the layout of each wall. It was just me and my wife building this, so I came up with the idea to build a wall laying flat on the ground. Each wall consists of 3 posts and 2 beams. So I connected 2 posts with 1 beam and then stood that up and tied it onto a railing that you see here holding it up. Then I took the 3rd post and attached to the 2nd beam and was able to stand that up together and attach to that center post. Now I had 2 standing walls. This pergola is 13 by 19, so it has 2 sets of louvers and it is considerably more work to build than a single 4-post. That was the end of step 2, and on to step 3, connecting the 2 walls with a beam. Here I used a makeshift tripod to hold up the end of one of the beams while I attached it to the other. Now with a solid standing structure, on to step 4 of installing the gutters. Well, not really much there as the gutters are built into the beams, so you simply need to connect the rubber connectors so the water is diverted down the posts. Step 5 shows to bolt each post to the concrete. I actually skip this step for now, and I do this at the very end. In step 6, you find directions where you will need a caulking gun and silicone. I think this is only needed because the pergola has 6 posts. In a 4-post pergola, I doubt you would need to have silicone caulking here. Step 7 was the hardest step. Step 7 consisted of lifting the center beam into place. It was only a difficult step because the center beam has the gearing for the pergola to open and close, and that makes that beam a little heavier than all the others. Step 8 included a little more caulking now that the center beam was in place. Now with an end in sight, we move on to step 9 and prepare to install the louvers. The directions have you starting at the 4th louver, as that is the one that is connected to the gearing for opening and closing. All other louvers connect to this and will help with opening and closing. Step 10, 11, and 12 include adding the rest of the louvers and connecting the rod to each. Now I went back to step 5 for securing the pergola to the concrete pad. This step is a little difficult for 2 reasons. 1, you have to drill the 4 holes in the concrete for each post, and 2, you need to make sure your pergola is square and you need to make certain the posts are straight up and down and in line with each other. I would say this step is the most time-consuming step of the entire project. The pergola was completed in about a day and a half. With experience now, I think my wife and I can do it in about 1 day. Now let's take a look at the list of pros and cons. We'll start with the pros first. That list is much longer. Online ordering and informative website. There's no pressure from sales to place an order. You can shop around on their website and look at many options, as the site allows you to select and configure all the sizes of the pergola and shows you the price as you change the configuration. Now let's talk about the packaging of the pergola. When you open the boxes, you find that there is plastic film or tape on all the beams and all the posts to keep the finish nice during the construction and during the shipping. There's also a lot of styrofoam inside the boxes to protect it during shipping. I would say that if your pergola arrives with damage, surely the shipping company has been very rough in how they handled it. Next, I found that the directions were easy to follow. It is a bit overwhelming when you start unpacking all the boxes. There are so many pieces in each box, but I grouped the similar pieces as I laid them out, and I also placed them so I could see the letter code on each piece. The directions referred to that code, so it made it easy to follow step by step. Another pro that I was pleasantly surprised with was the quality of materials that make up the pergola. The metal feels thick and sturdy, and all the parts from the post to the beams to the louvers seem like they are made to last. Next, once you start bolting all the beams and posts together, you notice the high quality of pre-engineering. The pergola comes with the holes pre-drilled for easy construction, and it was nice to see that all the parts fit perfectly together and everything lines up exactly as it should. The next topic I want to touch on is the quality of finish. I found the finish on all the post beams and louvers to be very durable. Once or twice I dropped a louver on the concrete, and I was happy to see that it did not show scratches after being dropped. This gave me a good feeling that the finish is going to look good for many years to come. The final pro is the overall appearance. This pergola adds to the beauty of my home. The patio I placed this on sat empty for 2 years because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put here for an overhead structure. In the end, I'm happy I decided to go with this 13 by 19 Hanso Pergola. It fills the space well, and I expect it will look good here for many, many years. That covers the list of the pros. Now let's go over the list of cons. There's only 2. First, not much contact was made after this sale. I placed the order online, which then charged my credit card 100% of the price. Right after the order, I did get an automated email confirming my order, but then days went by and then weeks went by and there was no more contact. 5 weeks after the purchase, I received an email which showed my order was on step 4 out of 11 steps for production. It would have been nice to get that email on the first 3 steps, but then silence again after that email for the next 8 weeks. I had expected automated updates on the progress once I got that email about the 4th step. But I heard nothing until I emailed them asking for the status. At that time, I was given a ship date of 3 weeks out, and a pergola did arrive on that ship date. My only con I can list about the pergola itself is the look of the footplate, where you have the 4 bolts that hold it to the concrete. This is the one part that Hanso left out in otherwise well-designed pergola. It would be nice if there was an optional footplate covering that slides up the post during the construction. Then after bolting to the floor, you're able to slide that footplate covering down. It would enhance the look, the final look of the pergola. In the end, I'm very pleased with this pergola from Hanso. I hope this video has given you a clear understanding of the building process and what to expect if you're looking for a pergola. Please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to know what you think.